Well, I am deep in the jungles of Tennessee once again. I was taking a stroll along this roadway. I just happened to look right over here amongst these weeds. You can barely see the top of it. There's an old truck sitting there. I think we ought to see if we can't get it running, get it out of these weeds. About the only thing I can tell you right now is it is a Ford and it's got a camper shell. That's about it. One of my subscribers messaged me a few months ago and he said, well, I got a couple of trucks on my farm. If you want them, you can have them. I said, absolutely, I'll take them. There's one there. That's one we're going to try to get running right now. And then there's another one right over yonder. We'll drag it out eventually. First thing I need to do, we got to clear a path. And then I'm probably going to pull it out. We'll just see. If I can make it clear enough to work on it, we'll leave it sitting where it's at. But most likely, we're going to drag it right through here, right up yonder. So let me get my chainsaw out and whatever else I need to knock these weeds out of the way and clear some path. The only thing I've got for weed removal is this right here. That's my jack handle. I'm going to use her like a baseball bat, I reckon. Ooh, that's some brawlers right there. Ow. You must die. Ooh-wee, I tell y'all what. That was a workout, especially a feller with asthma, a fat feller with asthma. I got it clear enough we can see the front end. It is an F100. I think they started this body style in '80, so it's at least a 1980. If I can make a path to the driver's side door, I'm gonna try to get in there and fingers crossed it's got keys or it's a manual transmission. If we can get it out of gear, I'm fixing to hook to it. If I can get the tires pumped up, we're gonna drag it out of here. Well, I managed to make me a path to the door. Got a big old dent in this door, by the way, but I bet you I give that a good swift kick from the inside, it'll pop out. And from what I can tell, if I can get the dang briars off of me, the old body, it ain't too bad. No, sir. Got some pretty decent patina. Yes, sir, sure does. Let me open it up. See if we got any keys. Do we have any keys? Oh, yeah, look at there, buddy. We got keys. We can put this sucker in neutral. Hopefully the tires will pump up, and we'll drag this sucker out. Oh, yeah. There's a hole in the floorboard. I wonder if it used to be a manual transmission. Huh. Anyway, we'll take a better look at it when I get it out of here. Let me see if my tires will pump up. If so, we're going to drag this sucker out of here. I think before I attempt to air the tires up, pull this thing out, these little fellers here, I think you call them a honey locust, maybe? See them thorns on that sucker? Let me tell you, they will flat tear you up. I'm going to cut them out of the way because they're right in the way of the truck coming out. I'm going to cut this little bunch of them down and maybe this right here. Then we'll see if them tires air up. Fingers crossed that they do. Then we'll get this thing out of here. That done messed up. I ain't got no gloves to grab them things to pull them out with. Ooh, it's a hurt. Ooh, yeah. It should be against the law to have these. Good gracious. Ow. Well, I think I got enough of a path around it now to get to all 4 tires. They're still on the wheel anyway, so it's a good chance they may pump up. I got me a new jump pack the other day. My little one, it quit on me. So I bought this little feller here. It's a jump pack. It's got 12 volt, cigarette lighter things, USB. It's got a little light on it and air compressor. I ain't used it yet, so I don't know how good it is. Let's get over and see if it'll do the job. Well, it's never a good sign when you gotta dig your valve stem out from under the mud. So this one here, it might not hold air. I don't know. I gotta see if I can find it firstly. I found it. We get this cap off of it. Thankfully, it had the cap on it, so it just might hold air. Well, it's taking air. As I can see, the dirt separating from it right there. But the gauge ain't reading hardly nothing. So this little compressor, it ain't all that great. But if it'll pump these 4 tires up, that's all I'm worried about. My little air compressor here, it ain't much pumping. No, it's been running 10 minutes. It ain't even showing 10 psi on the gauge yet. Battery's probably gonna run down before I can get them all pumped up. But if I can get 20 in it, we'll move to the other side over on the front and get it next. Driver side rear's holding there. That's awesome. Driver side front, nope. This little compressor is kind of pitiful. Yes, poor thing. It don't pump a lot of volume, so if there's any kind of a leak at all, it ain't gonna pump it up. That's what's going on with that one. It did pump the passenger side front up somewhat, but it's got a small leak too. We're gonna go try the passenger side rear. Hopefully it'll pump up, and then, well, I got my truck backed up here. We fixing to yank her out, or at least try to. Well, it appears that the passenger side rear tire is pumping up too, so I take back almost every bad thing I said about my little compressor. It would be nice if the front one's pumped up, because, you know, they're really in the hole. Plus, that's where all the weight is, but you can't have everything. As soon as this gets done pumping up, we're going to jump in the old 4-wheelie drive, put her to the floor. Hopefully, this truck will come out of here. Herewith we go. Well, there she is, and let me tell you, at first glance, the old truck looks to be in pretty good shape. I don't see any rust holes nowhere. I mean, nowhere. It does have a, what is this? Oh, that's a Brahma bull. There's the hump, there's the horns. Huh, we'll have to try to preserve that. I do think the camper shell, it's a wee bit long for this truck. Yes, sir. We'll have to take it off. I did peek in the bed real quick, and I smell sucker plucker. Now this jug right here got busted whilst we was yanking it out of the weeds. What else is in here? We got some chicken wire, backer setter thingamabobs. Got a couple of softballs. There's one softball up there. I don't know what's in them boxes. We'll have to look through them sometime or another. I'll have to see if he wants to keep any of this. If not, well, I guess we'll take it to the dump. License plate 99. He told me that he bought this farm in 2000, and that both the trucks were sitting there then when he bought it. So they've been sitting here at least 20, what is that? 23, 24 years. Yes, sir. None of the wheels were locked up. I mean, that's just, yep, that's awesome. Hopefully I won't have to fight the brakes too bad. Here's a look at the other side. It's got another Brahma bull on it right there. Yes, sir. I'm pretty pleased with this. It ain't too bad at all. No, sir. Let's open the door, see if we can find a tag. See what year it is. Door does not latch, by the way. Let us see what do we have. 3/81. So I reckon it's a 1981 Ford F100. Yes, sir. How many miles we got on it? It's showing 16,950. That's definitely 100, possibly 200. I don't know. The brake pad is gone, so you can't see how wore out it is. Is it AC? No, sir. No AC. Does have a tape deck, so we'll listen to some tunes on the way home. Glove box. It's missing. I'd like to know what this hole in the floor is all about. It's not a four-wheel drive. So did it used to be a manual? I don't know. Let's see if we can get the hood popped and see what we're working with. Actually, let's look behind the seat firstly, see what we got. Another license plate. What does it say? Alabama 96. Something else right there too. What is that? Oh, sparking plugs. Other than that, oh, well, wait a minute. There's something in the corner right here. What the devil? That's some kind of makeup bag, I do believe. I reckon a girl used to drive this. Let's look in that real quick. Oh yeah, I've hit the jackpot on the makeup. Sure enough, cream beige. Cover girl, fresh complexion, oil control. There's some lipstick. There's the cover for it. There's some makeup right here. What is this? I don't know. What is this? Car mix for cold sores. Well, we've hit the jackpot on the makeup. Anyway, let's get out here and see what kind of motor we got. All right, let's see what we're working with if I can figure this hood out. Ow. Ow! Tis a V8. It looks weird. Looks like it's sitting over to this side. Frame has been cut. Looks like to make room for the exhaust. This is odd. I'd say this don't belong in this truck. Huh. Yeah, I got 6 inches over here, and then over here the exhaust, well, it's touching the frame if it wasn't cut out. I don't know Fords. I ain't got a clue what this is. We'll find out eventually. It's probably a 302. But I think we should just dive right in. Let's get something on the crank and see if it's stuck. Oh yeah, she ain't a turning at all, fellas. Ooh-wee. Let me get something on that crank, see what happens. Let me show y'all this before I get to cranking on that crank. There's the frame rail. There's the exhaust. Well, you can see where they cut the frame right there. See how close it is. Well, then you come over here. This is a big enough hole. I can crawl through it. I sure can. Yes, sir. I don't understand why they did that. Let me get y'all back on the stand. We'll get some on the crankshaft and go to pulling on it. All right, let's see if it's here. Will do any better. Maybe. Yes, sir. All I'm doing is tightening the bolt. Yeah, this feller here is locked up pretty tight. Well, I reckon we're going to do the usual. Let's pull the plugs. Go to filling it up with transmission fluids. All right, let's get these here pluggy plugs out of the way. Oh. Well, she's running rich. Possibly a little bit of Earl, but there ain't no rust. Same thing. Let me get the rest of them out. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do firstly. I got some coil of oil, and this stuff is really good. So I think I'm going to shoot it in all cylinders first. We'll let it sit here for a little while. We'll pull on that crank a little bit more. Maybe to break loose. I don't know. Oh, the doo-dah day. Oh, the doo-dah night. Da, 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 da. Whilst we went on the coil of oil, I've just been looking things over. here's some weird things that I have found. They use suspension shims for spacers on that alternator bracket. I believe I may have known that feller that did this. And like I said, you know, the motor shifted over that way. It's probably because the power steering pump would hit the steering here, but I mean, you got plenty of room back yonder. You got probably 8 or 10 inches before that transmission hits the tunnel. I would have raised it up so I could center it, but that's just me. Anyway, let's check your Earl, just see if it's got anything in it. It is showing, oh yeah, it's black as midnight, but yes sir, it's got Earl in it. I don't know about transmission fluid. We'll check it here in just a second. Let me grab this here transmission dipstick if I can. My little legs ain't quite long enough, goodness. Yeah. And it looks like motor oil. Yes, sir, it's pretty dark. What in the devil? It needs some, probably, but the color of it worries me more than anything, because that really does look like motor oil. Let's see if we can't get this here cap. Well, it's already been popped. Let's see if we can't get it off. See what we're working with in here. Well, that won't come off. There we go. Well, there's nothing but a rotor. That won't come off. Get off of there. Well, and then the little pickup down in there. That's pretty much it. Rotor looks all right. The cap, it ain't bad. Wonder if the carburetor is froze up. Oh yeah, goodness gracious. That sucker won't move at all. Oh me. Let me get the coil of oil and spray it. Oh, I can't hardly get that off. Well, how long is this? My goodness gracious. 2-bubble Motorcraft. Let me spray this down with the coil of oils. Maybe it'll break free. All right, maybe that'll be good enough to get that broke free after a while. Shall we pop the top on that? All right, here we go. Oh my goodness. What in the devil? Holy crap. I've never seen such in my life. Well, I think it's safe to say we ain't going to have no brakes on it. No, sir. Well, I just noticed that none of the radiator hoses or the heater hoses have been eat up. That's kind of weird. Be sitting there that long, and the mice, you know, they normally munch on them and plug wires. Maybe there ain't no mice around here. Anyway, it's been sitting here probably 30 minutes or so with the coil of oil. Let's put a socket back on the crank, just see what happens. I doubt it's going to move, but you never know. I don't know what it is about Fords, but I don't have a whole lot of luck getting them unstuck. I got, this will be the third one, I guess. You know, we had the station wagon, and then there's an old truck y'all haven't seen. Couldn't get it unstuck, and then this one potentially. I wonder if it's the alloy in the pistons or what it is that's different. No, sir, she ain't a moving. Not at all. This might be a lost cause, fellas. Maybe a lost cause. Tell you what I'm going to do, because I can't sit here all day just waiting around. I'm going to put some more coil of oil in them and a transmission and acetone mix. We'll let it sit till tomorrow morning. Maybe, fingers crossed. I cross them good that this thing will break loose. Well, I got it filled up with acetones and the transmission fluids. Before I did that, though, I put my whole camera in each cylinder. And, well, I'll show you that right here. She's got rust. It ain't solid rust, but it's still quite a bit. Only time we'll tell if the little feller's going to break loose or not. We're going to let her sit all night and soak, marinate, and we'll come back in the morning. We'll put the wrench on the crank. Fingers crossed that she breaks loose. Till the next day, I say let's jump right on in. No dilly-dallying. Let's throw the breaker bar on the crank, see if it's going to be a willing participant in this will it run, or am I going to have to use violence? All right, let's see what this thing's going to do. Am I going to have to get mad at you? Huh? You little turd. Oh. What are you going to do for me? Are you going to break loose? Let go of my shirt. All right. Y'all cross your fingers that this little feller turns over right now. Well, it does not. Nope. Well, here's what we're going to do to keep from breaking this bolt. No, sir. Tis not ready, but we're going to force it. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to throw my strap wrench on this pulley down here. Hopefully I can get a good enough grip. We're about to get violent. If you do not know what a chain wrench is, it's basically a really big, really tough strap wrench like oil filter wrench. I just got some flat stock here. I got some square tubing right there. I got a motorcycle chain. It's welded to the flat stock. You wrap it around whatever it is that you want to tighten or loosen. You run it through here, you tighten that bolt down where it can't slip. Then you rear on it with all you got. Oh, yeah. I broke a couple of them loose with this. Let's see if we can't make it 3. I modified it here a while back and put this crook in the handle so I don't have to take that water pump off usually. It gives me more room, you know. I'm here instead of way out here. Gives me more room to yank on it. All right, let me tighten my bolt up, then we'll be ready. All right, got that tight. Let's see if this thing is gonna break free or not. Come on, little buddy. Don't disappoint me. Oh yeah, she ain't breaking loose, fellers. Lost cause, yep. Do believe we got us a dud. Come on. No, sir. Then bent the pulley, so that's good. She's locked up tight. I mean tight. Woo-wee. Gracious. Ah, yeah, she ain't a coming loose, fellers. Not anytime soon. Oh! This is why I modified this handle. Normally it would be right here. I wouldn't have nowhere to go. I put that crook in it, let me get up here. No! She ain't moving, fellers. No, sirree. Let me go the other way with it. I don't know if that's the pulley moving or if it's rocking back and forth just a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, okay. We're moving, I mean just a little bit. We might actually get this thing broke free. Oh yeah. Come on, girl. I'm gonna work it back and forth a little bit. If she breaks free, I'll be back. Well, I was trying to rock it back and forth, hoping it would break free. Now, the only thing that broke free was my chain wrench. It broke right there, yes, sir. So I'm done with that till I go back home and fix it. Well, I put my socket on. I took that fan, got it out of the way, and put my socket and breaker bar on there, trying to rock it back and forth. I've been doing that for 15, 20 minutes, and she ain't getting no better. I can hear the flywheel or torque converter or something back here clunking, so I know the crank is moving. I know it ain't just this pulley or anything slipping. So I know that is moving. Well, look at this little spider right here in front of my face. Can y'all see him? Well, he just decided to drop right in my face. Anyway, where was I at? I heard it clunking back here, so I know the crank is moving. I know ain't none of this here slipping, but I got my camera out and put it in every hole. These over here still have fluid in them, but it looks like some is drained out. This side over here, they're completely full. So this is most likely the problem side. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to let this side over here marinate. Well, both sides, but this one especially. And I may come back every 2 or 3 days and pull on that crank down there. I'll fix my chain wrench. We'll rock it back and forth. Hopefully, eventually, the thing will break free, and it'll free up enough where to run. That's the only way I know to do it, fellas, unless you pull it out and tear it down. And, well, I don't want to do that just yet. So, that's the plan. I'll see y'all in a few days. Well, it is approximately exactly 2 to 3 days later. We've been letting this little feller marinate. Fix my chain wrench, by the way. Fixing to wrap that around the cranker. Give her a yank. Let's see what happens. All right, let's see if this little fella is going to break loose or not today. No, sir. No, sir. Did I break my chain again or just slip? I think it just slipped. Let me tighten it up again. All right, let's see what that does. All right, let's see if I can keep it from slipping this time around. Yeah, she ain't a coming loose, fellers. No, sir, no, sirree. Well, I think I just crushed the pulley some more. Yeah, that's all we got going on right now is a crushed pulley. Go back the other way. Yeah. Ooh. Well, fellers, she is really stuck. Yes, sir. I'm gonna spray some more Crayola oil in it. We're gonna let her sit another few days. Well, fellers, I do believe we are dealing with a lost cause right here. Yes, I do believe she's locked up pretty tight. I was gonna put some more Crayola oil in it, but I got my camera out and looked at each cylinder. It's still full. That means she's just really corroded up around them pistons. Most likely, we're gonna have to drag this thing home, pull this motor out, tear it apart. Probably gonna have to knock the pistons out of it and then do a cheap rebuild on it maybe. But I am gonna let her sit a few more days, give her a little more time, one more chance, but I don't expect nothing to happen. I will tell you this, I did figure out that this is a 351. And let me show you how I know that. See right here, the top of the water pump right there where that finger is, and then right up here is the top of the block. Well, that space being there means it's 351 because they have a taller deck than a 302. If it was 302, well then the top of your block would be down here where the top of that water pump inlet is. Also, the distributor, let me get in here so I can show you. See where it goes into the block? It's lower than the bottom of the intake here. That means it's 351. If it's a 302, then they would be pretty much even where it goes in the block according to the bottom of the intake. That's all due to it being a taller deck block. So we do have a 351. Anyway, we're gonna let her soak a little bit longer. I'll see y'all in a few more days. Well, it has been about a week since I have come through with this thing. Let's just see if it'll break free. Probably not, but we got to try. No, sir. She ain't breaking free. No, sir. Do believe this is a lost cause, fellas. I'm thinking we'll have to take it to the shop, tear that motor apart. Wait a minute, fellas. She's moving a little bit more than she was. Oh yeah, look at here. Yeah, she's moving quite a bit more. It probably won't break free today, but I am going to work it back and forth a little bit. And you know what? We'll come back tomorrow, the next day, the next day. This thing is going to break loose eventually. Oh, yeah. I don't know how well y'all be able to see it from where you're at. But watch this side over here. Well, just watch this right here. She's moving quite a bit now. Before, it was just, barely move. You could barely see it move. So we have freed her up quite a bit. Ain't quite there yet, but I do believe we'll get there. Oh, yeah. Well, I broke my chain again. It just ain't strong enough to handle what I'm giving it. I have to go to a bigger chain. I might have to redesign this, but we are getting maybe a quarter of a revolution, maybe a little bit more. Just keep working with it. Maybe it'll free up enough. If it'll spin with the starter, if it frees up that much, I believe we can get it running. Oh yeah, I'll keep fooling with it over the next few days. Well, it's been, I don't know, 2 days since I last fooled with this thing. It ain't freed up no more. Matter of fact, when I first got here, it was stuck again. Yes, sir. Had to get a little rough with it. It ain't moving no more than it was. I ain't sure that we ain't hitting a valve. Maybe a valve stuck down. So we're gonna pull the valve covers, take a hammer, peck on the valve, make sure they ain't stuck. Let us get the valve cover out of the way. It may or may not be missing a few bolts. Well, there went that one. I need to find it because that'll give a tractor a flat tire. Let me get my magnet. I found it, I found it. Here's my magnet. Yes, sir, that's a big magnet. Well, I got all the valve cover bolts removed except for these two right here. I don't know what that is, but apparently they were leaking, so they just daubed it full of, I don't know, that may be JB Weld. Let me get a hammer and a screwdriver and go to pecking on it so I can't chip it away. Whoop on it with a hammer. Oh, yeah. Oh, that just broke right off. I don't know what that is. Some kind of epoxy, I think, maybe. Why not just fix the leak instead of doing this? What in the devil? Alright, I think I can get them loose now. Oh, yeah. Alright, let's get these valve covers off, see what we're working with. See if we got any valverinis that are stuck down. Well, oh yeah, here we go. Come on off of there. Yeah, we'll have to have a new gasket. They sure went heavy on the RT and V on them valve covers. Goodness gracious. It's a little gunked up. I mean, it ain't. I've seen a lot worse. What I'm gonna tell you, but it ain't bad. Let me get my hammer, peck on them. That there might be. That there is a little bit. That one there is. Let's check the other side. That one there is. I think it might have freed up. There's two, I think, over yonder. Let's go check them one more time. But this one here acts like it is. That one is for sure. Yeah, possibly. Maybe. Alright, let me work on the two back ones for sure are stuck. Let me work on them a little bit. We'll put the old Croil of oil down in there on them. Maybe that'll help them break free. Well, I just drove her all the way down. I believe that nerve just broke free. Yeah, I believe it did. He don't want to cooperate at all. Let me pull that rocker off and get it out of the way. Alright. Yes, sir. She don't want to cooperate. Alright, there we go. She just popped up. Still stuck. Let me work on it a little bit more. I think I got her freed up. Let me pull on it, see if that's helped us out any at all. No, sir, she's still stuck. I reckon it's a rust spot in there it's hitting. Ooh wee. She's still pretty tight, fellers. She may be a lost cause, I don't know. Ooh. Yeah, she hits a hard spot going either way in the same spot, so I don't think it's a valve now. No, sir. I do believe it's just a rust spot, I would say. Come on, girl. Get on past it. Well, we made it a little further. Yes, sir. It might take several more days before she decides to act right. But I'm gonna get up in here so I can grab a hold of this a little better. I'm probably gonna break this chain again, I imagine. No, she went a little bit more. Come on, you sucker. Ooh! Yeah, she's stuck right there for sure. Can't get it to go no more. Oh, man. Whew. Let's go back the other way with it. Ooh! Yeah, it's a pretty bad rust spot right there somewhere. There's a rough spot going the other way. Ooh. Probably gonna break this chain here in a minute. Oh, no, it went on a little further. I believe we'll keep working with it. It's gonna make a full revolution one of these days. A little bit further. Come on. Ooh, I believe that's it. This hurts my hand a little bit. Oh, it went a little bit more. I believe that might be it for a while. It got really hard really fast. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's go back the other way with it. Well, I removed the water pump pulley, hoping to give me a little more room to move this bar that way. So let's see what she does. Oh yeah, she went on a little bit more. Yes, sir. A little bit more. Whew. Yeah, we done went probably an eighth of a turn more than what I was doing, so we're definitely making a little progress. I just don't know how long it's going to take. And it may never free up enough to turn over the starter. You remember Lockjaw? He was that way. Let's go back the other way real quick. All right, we're back to the hard spots. Come on. Well, we have made it a little further now because we just squished a bunch of transmission fluid out of that piston. So we are making progress. Oh, look at here, fellas. We got it, I do believe. Yep. Let me keep working with it. Yes, sir. Well, we've made it 360 degrees. But she's still pretty tight, so I don't know. Let me work with it a little bit longer. Hopefully it'll free up. Well, I got tired of pulling on that chain wrench, so I thought, well, let's just see if the old starter will work and maybe turn it over. I'm kind of doubting it because it's still got a pretty good hard spot. Anyway, I got my battery out here. Went to hook up my gun. Well, I ain't got no starter solenoid. No, sir, they stole it. There's the 2 screw holes right there for it. So, what we're going to do, we're just going to hook, this wire goes to the starter. We're just going to hook it right to the positive on this battery and see if she'll turn over. All right, fellas, here we go. Where's my battery cable? Here it is. Fire in the hole. Well, maybe not. Oh, yeah. I didn't think it would do it. You could hear it, you know, it's got that hard spot. You can hear it getting a little bit better every time it turned over. We'll let the starter rest a minute. I want to show y'all what's coming out of it. Good gracious, it's terrible. I want y'all to look at this mess that's coming out of here. It's Well, it looks like duty a little bit. It's just chunks of rust and stuff. I don't know. That's pretty nasty, yes, sir. I'm gonna keep doing that, and hopefully it'll free up completely. If it does, I'll be back, and we might just try to start this thing. Y'all ain't gonna believe me, let's show you, but she's freed up quite a bit. Oh yeah. Tell you what, I'm working. There's another truck on this property I'm working on right now. I'm gonna go fool with it the rest of the day, and then when I go home this evening, I'm gonna get some plugs. The wires look pretty good. The Mises, they didn't chew them up, so I think they're okay. I might get one of my old ones. I think I threw them here in the back of the truck. Hook it up. Let's make sure we're getting spark. Well, actually, I can't do that because this wiring over here is a mess. I'm missing my solenoid. I need to study the wiring. I tell you what, I'll wait, study the wiring tonight. I'll get some plugs. We'll come back tomorrow, I'll get a solenoid, and we'll see if we get sparking, and, well, let's just see if a darn thing will start. Well, I figured the wiring out. It's just like the older Fords. You know, I thought maybe this would be a little bit different. No, sir. This is how the older Fords are wired up. Solenoid is here. You'll have a cable from your positive over to one side of your solenoid. And then I didn't see this little feller here, but that'll go on the same side. And this is what powers the rest of the truck. Anyway, I got it jumped from here to here on the positive, and checking the battery voltage going to the coil. Well, I got a loose connection now. Let me fix that real quick. All right, I fixed it. My negative cable and my metry come loose. Anyway, got 6.5 volts going to that coil, and just now, let's see. Just now when I was fooling with this wiring here, removing power from this, I heard something popping and snapping, so I think we've got fire. Let me hook a plug up to it and just see. Well, fellas, we are getting a spark. Yes, sir. Like I said, you know, this supplies power to the rest of the truck. Well, I'm putting power to it and then taking it away, and it's just like a set of points. You know, I know this ain't points, but it's just like a set of points. Well, y'all watch this right here. She's just firing away. Oh yeah, we got sparky spark. So I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Tomorrow when we come back, we're going to have us a set of spark plugs. We're going to have us a solenoid over yonder. And I'd like to get that carburetor broke free. I might take it off before I leave and take it home tonight and try to clean it up. Put it back on tomorrow, and we're going to see if this thing here will fire up. Yes, sir, we sure are. I just wanted to make sure, you know, their little pickup in there was working. So I decided, well, let's just turn the thing over and see if she's firing. We all watch this right here. Oh yeah, just firing away. We may make this thing run tomorrow. We'll just see. Well, it's been a couple of days since we worked on this thing, and let me tell you, it's been in the 70s here for several weeks now. Just wonderful weather. Well, she dropped 30 degrees last night, and it's quite chilly. Been raining all day, and I ain't got but maybe a couple hours of daylight left to fool with this thing. Soaked the carb in Chem Dip for a couple of days. Let me tell you, it's hard to beat Chem Dip, especially if you can let it soak. This was just really gummed up. It cleaned every bit of it out. Got it rebuilt, well, sort of. It's got a few used parts in it, but I think it'll be good enough to see if it's gonna run. I got a starter solenoid we got to put on, sparking plugs we got to put in. Got to figure out the firing order. Y'all know how me and Ford's firing orders go. Hopefully I can figure that out. I can't do it talking to y'all though, so let me get busy. I'll be back. Well, I got the carburetor device back on. I'm trying to get this starter solenoid mounted. I'm trying to hurry because it's cold. So let me put this right here. I don't know where the bolts went, so I'm using self-tappers. I just lost one down in here, so that's good. Alright, let me get this wired up to the best of my ability. I think this one goes over here. Just like that right there. This one will go right here. And then this one will go right here with it. I stole this here cable off of Dumas. I've been stealing a lot of parts off of Dumas. I gotta quit that. Then this one here is the the one that activates it. I don't know if it goes there or there. We'll just have to wait and see. I think it goes right there. We'll try it anyway. Let me get a wrench and tighten them up. All right, I think the solenoid is in. Let me get some sparking plugs in and figure out the firing order, and I think we'll be ready. Oh, da do da day. Oh, da do da day. See, we can get these here sparking plugs in these here sparking plug holes. Get them tightened up to the proper torque, which is when this wrench stops turning. Right there. That's the proper torque. Alright, let me do the other side. Speaking of valve cover gaskets, I knew I forgot to get something at the store. Yeah, well, that's what it was. So they're probably going to leak because, well, where's it at? I just found not one, but 2 tubes of RT and B. That's most likely what they were using on the valve covers, because they probably had a really bad leak. So if it does run, well, we'll probably see a shower of oil coming out of them. If it does run, well, I'll have to get a set of valve cover gaskets. Ow! I reckon that one's tight. I got all the plugs in, so now I need to find top dead center. Number 1, I'm assuming on all fours, is over here. So let me turn it over till I feel compression. Alrighty then. A brand new solenoid. Well, it just stuck on. That's real good. Sure is. That beats all I have ever seen in my life right there. It sure does. Brand new. Just put it on. Just got it out of the box. Let me try that again. Well, maybe it ain't gonna hang up this time. That's just MLS is what it is. Yes, sir. Anyway, let me crank it over and find compression. Right there. Feeling a little bit. Now, I need to sand on the balancer because it's so rusty. I can't see the marks. Let me do that. Find top dead center. We'll take his cap off, see where number 1 is, and then we can put our plugs, wires on like they go. I hear the train coming around the bend. Well, that took a little bit of time because it's so rusty, I couldn't see nothing. I finally found top dead center though, so let us see where number 1 is on this here cap, if I can get it to come off. What the devil? Alright, I just broke it, so that's good. Yep, I just broke it. Awesome. Anyway, number 1, pointing yonder way. So, it will be this one right here. So, numero 1 is going to be this one right here. Alright, now that I know which one's number 1, I'm going to put that plug back in. Figure out the firing order. I'll be back and we'll give this thing the old try. Alright, I think I got the firing order right. I just put my Sparky spark tester on number 1 and I'm getting spark. So that's good. I think what we'll do now, let's fill the carburetor device up with some gasolines. Then we're going to give her the old try. Little bit grow. Alright. Fire in the hole. Well, it blew smoke out of the EGR like it tried to fire, but it's acting like the timing is just a wee bit high also. Let me loosen this distributor and maybe we can spin it around a little bit. I doubt it though. Fords are bad about sticking. Alright, it's loose. Let me see if I can get it loose. No, sir. Oh, that hurt. Well, let me get some Croil of oil and spray that down. And then we may go ahead and see if it'll start again. But it's acting like the time is a little bit high. Let me peck on it a little bit, see if it'll break loose. Oh yeah, she moved just a little bit right then. Yes, sir. Yeah, she's moving. Let me fold this a little bit and get it loosened up a little more. Oh yeah, look at there. She's loose enough, we can fool with it now. Let's try her once again if I can find my gas. Here it is. Well, the battery is acting like it's about dead. I got another one. Let me change them out, see if that helps any. All right. This is a fancy Duralast here. The door buzzer works, y'all hear that? All right, let's see if that helps it out any at all. I probably done flooded it. Ooh, it kicked back right then. Let's retard the time a little bit. And now the throttle's hanging up. Well, my solenoid is smoking. That is a pile of junk. Pretty much, yeah. It's smoking. I think it started smoking down there, so that's good. What in the world? Let me let that cool off a little bit. Well, I let the solenoid cool off. I took that battery cable off and cleaned it. Maybe that'll help it a little bit. I'm gonna give her a shot of carb cleaner. See if that don't help it out some. Here we go, fire in the hole. Well, wait a minute, I gotta hook up my starter thing again. All right, fire in the hole. That throttle's hanging up again. I don't know what it's hitting. It sort of acts like it's hitting just a little bit. Yeah, I believe she's trying to hit. Let me give it just a little bit of timing. That starter may be going out. Fellas, I don't know if she's trying to lock up or if the battery is that dead. Let me put a wrench on the crank. Oh yeah, she's trying to lock up again. Oh, I can't move it. Oh, what in the devil? Go back the other way. It sounds like something back yonder is catching. Yeah, acts like the bendix on the starter is sticking out. So we may have to put a starter on it. Oh my goodness gracious, I can't make it move. Yeah. All right, it freed up then. Yeah, I think we're gonna have a starter for this. Let me see how hard that's gonna be to get to. I bet it ain't gonna be fun. Don't do this. Don't do what I do. Oh, sorry. That's all I can find. It's a wheel and two slabs from the barn over there. Don't do that. I wasn't climbing under the thing unless I had something to put under it though. I did get the starter out, and well, it turns over freely. Yes, sir. Turned over with my hand. But see this right here? That's a bushing. Yes, sir. That's probably what's causing this to hang up, hang out, and all that. Because it was, you know, when I tried to turn it over by hand, I could hear the starter turning. So that's probably what's going on. That's causing that to hang up and all that. Anyway, I will try to find a new starter tonight. Also, here's my transmission cooler line. Yeah, it's rubber all the way. And it's just falling apart. So if it does start, I'll have to get new line. Well, I'll probably go ahead and get the line. And then if it starts, we'll go ahead and put it on. I have to get some transmission fluid too. Sun is setting quickly. It finally showed up. Yeah, clouds went away and the sun popped out about the time it hit the horizon there. That sure is pretty. I'll see y'all tomorrow. We are back for another day working on this old hunk of junk. I already got the starter changed out. And let me tell you this. I come up here, threw my battery in, hooked my starter gun up. I hit the trigger just to make sure, you know, the starter was going to engage and all that. Fellas, she tried to fire up. Yes, sir. It's spinning a whole lot faster, and it ain't quite as cranky sounding. No, sir. So, let me put y'all on the camera stand here. I'm going to give her a little drink of gasolines. I believe this old girl's going to run. All right, let's give her a little drink. Crank up. Fire in the old hole. Let's advance the timing just a wee bit. Oh, wait a minute, I'm retarding it. This is a Ford, not a Chevrolet. Yeah, I believe this old motor here is going to run. Oh yeah. Come on, girl. Let me see what it does on a carb cleaner. Oh yeah, fella, she just ran. Sure enough did. What smoke? Oh yeah, she's smoking like a freight train. Y'all ain't gonna believe this, but I forgot something this morning. 1, I forgot to get valve cover gaskets. 2, I forgot to get hoses for the transmission cooler lines. 3, I need to go back to where the old blue Ford is, the one y'all saw probably last week. Get my gas tank. I'll probably go ahead and get my tires off of it too. So yeah. I actually wasn't expecting it to run, I'll just be honest with you. So I need to go over there, get all that stuff, go to the store, get the other stuff. But this is very promising. Let's do that again. That's awesome. Oh yeah. Why it's not running off the carb though, because it's full of gas. I have to pull that thing back off. Let's see if it'll run off the gas. Their throttle hung up again. I don't know what's doing that. Huh. What in the world? What in the devil? I tell you what we might do. Take the carb off that old blue Ford too. Because we know it's a good carb. Yes, sir. Alright, we know it's running. So let's go get some stuff and make this thing drive. Well, it's been a couple hours, but I finally made it back to this old truck. Went to the store, got some partages. You can see them over yonder. Some in the bag, some in the back of the truck. Also went and got the tires and carburetor and my little square gas tank off that old blue Ford we got running last week. I'm hoping we got enough daylight left to get all this stuff put on, and maybe this thing will sit here and idle. I don't know. We may run out of daylight. I don't get to work on the same vehicle, you know, all day usually. Well, matter of fact, up until a couple weeks ago, I had 5 Will It Runs going. Yes, sir. I'd work on this one, then I'd go work on that one, and I'd go somewhere else work on one. You know, I'd work on them until I hit a wall or waiting on parts or whatever. Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is I don't get to work on the same vehicle all day usually. Anyway, let me get some of this stuff put on, and I'll be back, and maybe we'll hear this thing run a little bit better. Let me show you what I've done so far. The transmission lines were all rubber. Well, I think I showed y'all. It just sort of crumbled. So, well, I did this firstly. I was going to get more rubber line. This stuff right here, transmission oil cooler line, that's $4.50 a foot. I was like, no sir, I ain't doing that. So I decided to get 5/16 brake line. That's what I got right here. Run it all the way back and just put a small section of hose on each end. I think it'll work just fine and dandy. From what I've read, this is a C4 transmission, I'm pretty sure. These cooler lines on these Fords, they're like 50, 60 PSI, so I think that hose ought to be just fine and dandy. Whilst I got it jacked up, I'm gonna go ahead and drain the earls out of it, then we'll let it down. I'll go to working on the other stuff under the hood. Well, I've worked my little butt off the last 2 or 3 hours with the hopes of firing this thing up, letting it sit in here and idle. No, sir, it ain't happening today. Let me just walk you through all the MLS. Well, I got the transmission cooler lines on. They went great. It's been downhill from there. Drained the oil, then I let it back down off the jack. Well, then I realized I couldn't get to the Earl filter. The power steering pump is here. Realized I couldn't get to the Earl filter from up here. I jacked it up. I'm going to try to get it from down there. Well, whilst I was jacking it up, I saw oil just running off the motor back here. I was like, what in the devil? Well, I got to looking, and upon further investigation, oil was puddled all right here in the intake. Well, when I was pouring oil in here, it was running out here. I was pouring it too fast. I didn't think that much of it. Well, apparently, these drain back holes, they may be about half stopped up. Valve cover leaked. It puddled here and run down the back and run out. It's just, well, it's a mess. That's why I had 2 tubes of RT&V, because them valve covers, well, they're trash. I'm not sure I even got any Earl in the Earl pan. Let's pull the dipstick and just see. Make sure I did. Oh yeah, I think we're good on that. We didn't lose, but maybe half a quart back there. Anyway, if I can get this back in there, well, it won't go in. Let's go this way. Well, I bent it, so that's good. Let me get that in. I'll be right back. I bought a belt, for the water pump and power steering. Well, it's about 6 inches too long. So, even if we did get it started, it wouldn't be able to sit here and idle because I ain't got a water pump. Back to the oil filter. Couldn't get to it from below because I don't have any kind of oil filter wrenches with me. So I pulled the power steering pump off. And by the way, let me tell you, power steering pump, it's supposed to have a bracket back here somewhere. Well, it just flippity flappity flops all over the place. That's, I don't know about it. Anyway, I pulled it off to get to the Earl filter. And I figured, well, whilst I'm here, let's just put us a fuel pump on it too. So I pulled it off. I'm gonna go to the store, see if they got one. If not, I'll order it and we'll get it tomorrow. That's about all the excitement that's happened this afternoon. I know why it wouldn't idle, a little while ago when we had it running. It had several huge vacuum leaks. There was one big in here I didn't see, one in the back I didn't see. So this carb, it might be okay. If not, I got the other one. We can put it on here. it should do okay. It's getting dark. I got to run to the store, see if they got a fuel pump. I got to get some more vacuum line from a Vacuum Advance. A few other odd and end things. Tomorrow, I get to work on this thing all day. Well, that's if nothing else pops up. I'll get to work on this all day tomorrow. Surely, we can at least make this thing sit there and idle. I would like to pull the wheels off. Look at the brakes I saw earlier. We're at least going to have a hose because that there's broke. Yes, sir. But we got to look at the brakes tomorrow. I'd like to drive this thing home the next couple of days. Anyway, I'll see y'all tomorrow. We are back once again working on this old hoopty. But I don't get to work on it all day. No, sir. Things have occurred. It's the afternoon. We got maybe 3 to 4 hours to work on it. I think, though, we got enough time to at least get everything done under the hood. Make this thing running idle. Might even get time to look at the brakes. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to try anyway with the brakes later. Right now, I just got the fuel pump on, fixing to hook up some lines, going to the carb, and a makeshift gas tank. Got to get the power steering back on. Got a belt. It's probably wrong, but, well, I'm going to try it anyway. This power steering bracket, I looked last night. I don't know what it fits. It's not, well, it's not the Ford brackets that I'm used to seeing. Well, I'll show y'all, you Ford people. You might tell me what it come off of. Probably come off a car or something. I don't know. I'll show y'all when I get it on. I'm having trouble finding the belt is what I'm getting at. Anyway, let me get all that on, and we got to put some antifreeze in it, and I don't know, just knick-knack bull crap. Let me get all that done. I'll be back, and we'll try this thing, see if it'll sit here and idle. All right, I think I got everything done except putting this 30-year-old antifreeze in it. Yes, it is 30 years old. This came from Dude. Remember, we did the motor build. You know, I had to drain the antifreeze. Well, here's right here. I checked it with the checker. It's showing good to 25 below. So I'm going to put this in and then put that much water in probably. And I think we'll probably, okay. Anyway, let me get this filled up. And then I think we're going to give her the old try, see what she does. Hopefully this radiator ain't got no major holes in it. All right, let me check for leaks before I put any more in it. I don't see anything dripping, so that's a really good sign. Let me fill it the rest of the way up with Wooders, and I think we'll be ready. I know things were going too smoothly. Yes, sir. Got a leak. I'm draining the Wooders right now in that bucket. This hose from the thermostat housing over to the Wooder pump is leaking on the bottom side. Pretty good stream. Well, you can see, I don't know if y'all can, but there's teeth marks from the little Mises trying to gnaw on it. What I'm going to do is go right there to that truck, steal some of the heater hose off it. Hopefully we can get that fixed and put that Wooders back in it. Also, I have decided to put some transmission fluid in it since, well, it's just barely touching the dipstick. So I got some transmission fluid I'm gonna put in that. And I'll tell you about that transmission in just a minute. Let me get this fixed right here first. Well, we have a dilemma on this little hose right here. It is formed, you know, like this 90. And one end is bigger than the other. That's the big end, that's the little end. That right there is where the Mises ate it up. Here's the heater hoses off that other truck. That one there, well, I mean, it's just, if I try to bend it to make it 90, it kinks itself. And then this one over here, well, it's flexible enough, but it's too big. I mean, that's a huge hose. So I don't think it ever tighten up. I'm gonna try this one. If it don't work, well, the only thing I know to do, I'm gonna cut a little bit off this end and try to shove that on up there and, you know, get it to where I can get the hose clamp back in this area and get it past that bad spot. Maybe that'll fix it. Let me try both them things. I'll let y'all know how it goes. Well, I ended up having to cut the bad spot out of the original hose. That other one, well, it just kinked. And then I tried to make a big old loop. Well, it hit the fan. So I just cut the bad spot out of that one. Got her filled up with Wooders. I don't see no drippy drip, so I think we got that fixed. I've got pretty much everything done as far as I can tell. New fuel pump. Got my fuel line running over here to my gas can. Power steering's back on. This belt, it fits just barely. Let me ask y'all this, by the way, you Ford fellers. What does this bracket here fit? Most, well, like the old Mustang and Dumas, it was a completely different bracket. Your bolts that you loosened up were on the top. Well, these are on the front. And I've been having a hard time trying to find a belt. So yesterday I just wrapped a piece of hose around that and, you know, got my measurement. And 49 is, well, it's the limit. Anyway, if y'all know what that fits, let me know. What else have I got done? Put a return spring on the throttle because it won't hang up. That's not good. Got my vacuum line on the vacuum advance there. I reckon that's about it. Let me tell you about the transmission real quick. You know, I thought it was a C4. No, sir, it is not. And here's how you tell. Well, a C4 and a C5, from what I understand, are basically the same transmission, except a C5 has a lockup torque converter. And you know them by, they have a removable bell housing. They're all aluminum. The housing, bell housing, main housing, and tail shaft. Well, a C6 does not have a removable bell housing. It and the main housing is all one section. It's all aluminum. An FMX, that's what this transmission is. It has a removable bell housing. That's a hard word to say, by the way, removable. Anyway, it has a removable bell housing. The main housing is cast iron. You stick a magnet to it. If it sticks to it, well, you got an FMX. From what I understand, it's a medium-duty transmission. Some say they're pretty tough. Some say they're junk. I don't know. That's what we got, so that's what we're going to have to use. I poured about 3 quarts down in it because it was empty. I'm kind of afraid that may be why it was parked, because, you know, the transmission, it was dark enough. It looked like motor oil. I don't know, it maybe burn up. Anyway, I'm going to put y'all on the stand, fill the carburetor device up with gasolines. We're going to fire this thing up, see if it'll sit here and run. I'm going to fill the carburetor device up. We'll give her a crank. And then we'll hit the old starter. See what she does. Fire in the hole. Yeah. Well, I need to idle it back down. I forgot I idled it up. That blew all kind of crap in my eyeballs. All right, let me idle her down a little bit here. Maybe I won't blow crap all in my eyeballs. Let's try that right there. Let me give her some more gasolines. Apparently we ain't pulling from the gas tank yet. That throttle is so sticky. The acceleratory device is not right. This rod ain't touching the rod on the pump. I don't know why. There's 3 or 4 different accelerator pumps you can put in here. This is the one with the longest rod. I don't know what's wrong with it. There's no adjustment on this either. I tried bending the rod. That just makes the throttle hang up. So that's something we're going to have to deal with. I think what we're going to have to do, let's pull this carburetor device off. The one that was on the blue Ford, put it on here. I think that's what the issue is. Well, I found a vacuum leak. It's probably why it wouldn't idle. I forgot about this one under here. It goes to the PCV. I've lost that. I had the valve and the hose. I ain't got a clue where it's at. Tried to find a plug or a cap or something to fit it. It's pretty good size. Well, I couldn't find nothing. I ain't got no hose to fit over it, so I did the next best thing. I got me a little tree limb, and I drove it on it. It'll stay there, hopefully, for long enough to see if that's going to fix it. If it don't, then we'll have to swap that carb. Let's fire it up and see what it does. Fire in the hole. Well, she still don't want to idle. Let me idle it up a little bit. Sitting there idling. I gotta idle it up a little high for it to keep running. At least it is idling. It ain't smoking too awful bad. It's smoking more off the exhaust right now than anything, but she definitely got some blow by. Ain't no doubt about that. It's got a mist or two in it, which, I mean, I expected to. It's been sitting for 23 years. I thought we had a full exhaust, but I think we got a hole right up here. I'm gonna let it sit here and run and warm up. Hopefully that thermostat's going to open up. It's got some lifter tapping, but again, maybe it'll quieten down after a while. I'm gonna let it sit here and run. Well, she's been running about 20 minutes now. It's running smoother. It revs up a lot smoother. Still got a shake at idle. That could be the carburetor. We may put that other one on there eventually. Still got the lifter tap. It may be a little bit better, but not much. I can't get the cooling system filled up. I'll put water in it, the water will drop way down, and it'll come flying up and blow all that water back out. Been doing that for 15 minutes, I can't get it filled up. I don't know what's going on with it. But I do want to get in it here, and let's put it in gear. Fingers crossed. Let me cross them really, really good. Fingers crossed that transmission's gonna go in gear. Power steering, it's making noise, but it don't want to turn. Might have to check the fluids in the pump here in a minute. But let's put it in reverse. I don't want to go forward because I don't want to run over my truck because I ain't got no brakes. Anyway, here we go. Look at there, fellas. She just went in gear. Oh, yeah. It ain't moving, but she's in gear. Oh, yeah. Oh. She wanted to slam in gear that time. Let's try that again. The shifter's funny, but she is going in gear. There's neutral, there's drive. Oh yeah, we have a transmission. That's awesome. Power steering is working. It's just that them wheels not having the tires on them, plus it's just got a bunch of old crap there keeping it from turning easily, but they are turning. That's awesome. Temp gauge don't work. She's sitting on 170, 175. That ain't bad. Well, she's been running 30, 35 minutes, and it ain't a whole lot better. Lifter tap's still there. I revved it up a minute ago, and it's got a knock in it that I'm not sure what it is. It sort of sounds like rod knock, but I ain't sure. The old girl, I believe she's wore out. Cooling system, I don't know what's going on with it. It'll just shoot water out all of a sudden. I don't know if maybe the impeller has come loose from the shaft. I ain't got a clue. Well, let me rev it up. Y'all might be able to hear that rattle. I don't know. Let me shut it off. Well, alrighty then. I don't know what in the world's going on with the cooling system. I really don't. It's not hot, but it's boiling like it's hot. Well, you just saw what it did right there. I ain't got a clue. I believe old girl, she's wore out. And, well, I just don't want to risk it driving it. I'm not that far from home, 25, 30 minutes. But knowing my luck, MLS, something major happened, I'll have to leave it sitting on the side of the road. Cops will come by and throw me in jail, tell me I stole the truck. And I just don't want to risk it, fellers. I tell you what we might do tomorrow, because the sun, she's setting pretty quick. We might come back tomorrow and put these tires right here on the front. Those are the ones that come off of Dumas, that was on the old blue Ford. Put them on the front of this thing. I got to pump one of the back ones up over there. We'll fire this thing up, put it in gear. If it'll make one lap around that barn, we're going to call it good. Yes, sir. She's wore out, fellers. I don't want to tear the motor up, you know, because it still may be salvageable. We'll pull it out, rebuild it one of these days. I think that's what we'll do. I'll see y'all tomorrow. We are back for what's going to be the final day of fooling with this old truck, whether we drive it around this farm or not. Well, let me tell you this first. We've already started the day out with some MLS. Come out this morning. That tire right there was just as flat as a flitter. Yes, sir. MLS, this is another facet I haven't told y'all about. MLS, it doesn't have to be major. It can be just little old nitpicky stuff like that. All the time. You drive a man crazy. Yes, sir. Anyways, here's what we're going to do right now. I want to know if this thing's got any oil pressure or not. Whether or not we drive this around the farm, all pivots on what this here gauge tells us. That's the oil pressure gauge off of my run stand. Fixing to hook it up. Already got the sending unit out. Also know, by the way, an 1 inch and a 1/16 6-point socket will fit this sending unit. An 1 inch and a 1/16 12-point, it just spins. Y'all remember that. Let me get this gauge hooked up. I got to put this here fitting down in that hole. We'll fire it up. If we got oil pressure, we might drive around a little bit. If we don't, then we're done. I don't want to tear that motor up, fellas, because you'll see this truck again. We'll most likely pull this motor out, you know, give it a home, re-ring, new bearings and all that. I don't want to hurt that crank. Let me hook this up. Let's see what we got. Oil pressure gauge is hooked up. There it is right there. I got my bantry hooked up. Even got my trusty bantry cable end right there, also known as vice grips. Carry them everywhere I go. I filled it up with antifreeze and Wooders, and I'm leaving the cap on this time. What it's got, that's what it's going to get. Let me put y'all on the stand, fire it up. Let's see what kind of oil pressure we got. Let's give her a little drink of gasolines. See what she does. Look at there. Y'all hear that knock? Pretty bad, pretty bad. The choke, there we go. Well, she don't want to stay running, but according to that, we got oil pressure. Let me show you. Let me put that right there. Fire it up again. According to that, we got 40-ish. Sure takes a while to build up, though. Let me put some tires on this thing. We'll ride around the farm. I attempted to get this off yesterday. I got 4 of the lug nuts off, and the 5th one about halfway off, and then the battery run down. This was fully charged, by the way. These are so rusty that's just, well, it's dang near impossible to get them off. Get out of the way. Old Dumas to the rescue again with these old wheels and tires. He told me yesterday, he said, if you don't get my tires back on me, I'm going to blow the motor up. So we got to get these back on in pretty soon. All right, let me let her down. I'll do the other side. Well, here's the deal, fellers. Y'all know me. You know, if I see something broke, I got to fix it. It's just in my nature. I can't help it. Well, whilst I was putting the wheels and tires on this thing, I got to looking at the brakes. And I said, you know what? They don't look all that bad. The rotors, they're rusty, but they ain't real bad. Pads, there's still quite a bit of pad left. Where is it at? I mean, the pad. Still quite a bit of pad left. So I got to thinking, let's see if we can get the hose loose from the line If we don't twist the line, well then let's see if we can't get the caliper off. If we get the caliper off, let's see if we can't get the piston loose. If we get the piston loose, let's see if we can get the bleeder loose. Well, guess what? All them things happened. Yes, sir, there it is right there. Piston went back, got the bleeder loose, got the line loose. Matter of fact, yesterday, when I was at the store, I bought one brake hose. I think it's for the right-hand side. That's all they had. Another store has the left-hand side, but I forgot to get it. It's 10 or 15 minutes away. If I can get this other caliper off and everything breaks free, I'm gonna run to the store. I'm gonna get this hose. We're gonna put both hoses on. I think the master cylinder is okay. If you remember, it was holding fluid. Now, it had a lot of rust in it. We'll get that out. But it was holding fluid, so I don't think it's bad. We're gonna have brakes on this thing, and we might drive this thing on home. You just will. We'll just have to wait and see. Let me work on these brakes, and well, let me get that caliper off, make sure everything's okay. If it is, I'll be back and let y'all know, and I'll go to the store and get this other hose, and we're gonna try to have brakes on this thing. Well, 15 years later, I finally got this caliper off that truck, and everything's good. I got the hose broke loose from the line without twisting the line. Bleeder broke loose. Caliper was actually loose. You know, they have to slide back and forth. It was actually freed up. But when I put my clamp on here to squeeze that piston back in, she didn't move. But here's the deal. From here to here, this is a different caliper from the other one. I can tell by the way the piston is. From here to here, should be pretty much the same on them. And I got my tape out and measured that, and it is. It's within like a 30-second. Well, the other one, I know the piston's all the way back in. So if that measurement's the same, maybe this one's all the way back in for whatever reason, and it's okay. So I'm gonna go to O'Reilly's. I'm gonna get the hose for the other side. We're gonna put these brakes back together, and fingers crossed, let me do it real good. Fingers crossed that we're gonna have some brakes on this old truck. We have brake parts now. I ain't gonna say that we got brakes. We do have brake parts though. Took the top off of this here master cylinder. Let me tell you, I don't remember it being this bad. The fluid's gone because I stepped on the pedal yesterday and it squirted. You know, this hose over here was busted, so it squirted all of it out. But just look at that. Yeah, that sludge. What in the devil? Let me get that cleaned out. And I sure hope that that's gonna be okay. I'm not buying a master cylinder, no sir. If this don't work, well, we ain't gonna have no brakes. Let me get it cleaned out. All right, well, let's clean this goop out of here. Hopefully we don't mess it up. Get any of this goop down in there and stop the holes up. That would be terrible. Let me get a screwdriver, stick down in there and get some of that stuff out. I got a lot of it. Let me get another rag. Do a little more cleaning. I ain't gonna worry about this one here. This is for the back brakes. The front one is. I ain't even gonna worry about it. Well, that's about as clean as I think I'm gonna get it. So let me fill it up and we'll get my tire bleeder on there. Hopefully we can bleed these front brakes. Well, I got my power bleeder set up over there. I'm amazed that that master cylinder is not leaking like a sieve because the top of it just terribly rusty. It's just got a little drip. But we also got a little drip right here in this bleeder. I need to see more than that, but at least we're getting fluid down here. I may pull that bleeder out all the way because, you know, all that stuff's cruded up. I've tried to clean it out, but anyway, let me pull it out and see if we get any more fluid. Well, this ain't good. I can't get much fluid to come out of that bleeder. At least I'm getting some though. Let me shut it off and I'll go bleed the other one, and we might hit the pedal to see what we got. Y'all ain't gonna believe me unless I show you. Watch that pedal right there. Oh yeah, we got brakes. We sure do. It went to the floor the first time I pushed it. I kept on working it, and I don't know, about 30 seconds later, that's what I got. I mean, it's a firm pedal too. Yes sir, we do have brakes on this old truck now. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put, well, I'm afraid, you know, that caliper over there may be, you know, stuck. So what I'm gonna do, find me something to jam that pedal down, you know, in between the seat, and then go over and see if we can turn that wheel. If we can't turn it, then I'm gonna say that caliper's working. Let me see what I can get right here. Well, I got some bad news, and then I got some, well, some more bad news. See that pipe wrench? Put it on the rotor, hoping to turn it. No, sir, she won't. I've been standing on, jumping on it. She won't turn. That caliper right there is locked up, just tighter, and I don't know what. Well, here's something else too. Let me show you this and we'll talk more about the caliper. See this little mark right here around that wheel? Well, you know, this wheel was on the old blue Ford. That mark came whilst it was on the old blue Ford. That Ford had disc brakes, just like this one. Well, this wheel, it tapers in for whatever reason. It's not flat. And it is hitting the keeper that keeps the calipers on right here. You knock that piece in and out. It's hitting right there. That's not anything major. I can take a grinder or probably even a file because it's not rubbing that much. That ain't a big deal. Here is a big deal though. I don't know which caliper I need. It all depends on what size my rear brakes are, 10 inch or 11 inch. Here's the even worse news. If it's 10 inch, well, it'll be 4 days before I can get the calipers. They got the 11 inch or they can get them tomorrow. 10 inch, won't get them for 4 days. Pretty sure that's what we're gonna have is the 10 inch. Let me pull this wheel off, see if I can get that drum off and measure it for sure. Well, I got the wheel off and I got the scratching around because I knew it would be on it somewhere. You know, I ain't gonna believe me unless I show you, but look at that right there. Max diameter, 11.12. We got 11 inch brakes. I'm gonna order that caliper. It'll be here in the morning. I'll see y'all in the morning. Well, I do believe I said yesterday was the final day we was gonna work on this old truck. I've also said we are driving it, we ain't driving it. We are driving it. No, wait, we ain't driving it. Just don't pay me no attention. I don't know what I'm talking about. I do have a caliper right here though. I've already filled it up with brake fluid, moved it all around and got all the air out. Look at there, deer running through the woods. Ooh, it's a buck, sure is. Anyways, what we're talking about, this brake caliper. I filled it up with brake fluid, moved it all around, got all the air out. I've never done that before. We might not even have to bleed this thing. Let me get it swapped out and we'll see how it does. There's a few more little odd end things got to do. And then we might just drive this thing down the road. Well, I had the caliper on. Went in there and mashed the pedal. Of course, it went to the floor. I pumped it up and it come back. Worked that little bit of air out of it. Come out here, see if I could turn this wheel. It turned, but it was really, really hard. It finally broke free. But I think I know what the issue is. Calipers, you know, they have to move back and forth a little bit to release this outside pad. They slide on these areas right here, and on the caliper right here and on the other end of it. Well, if you look right here, looked like somebody whooped on it with a hammer right here on this edge, curled that edge over, and that's making it too tight. So I think I'm gonna get a file, clean this up. I'll clean these areas up too. Hopefully that'll fix it. Let me do that and I'll be right back. Brakes, well, they're good enough. Then over, it's still hanging up. There's something wrong with that caliper. I don't know what it is. But I'm working on my fuel line now. I'm running it around through here. I did not mean to go over that wire. I meant to go under it, but I'm not pulling it back and going under. I just ain't gonna do it. Anyway, I got it run down through the along the frame rail outside of it. Got it wire tied to the emergency brake cable. I'm gonna come up here, then I'm gonna bust a hole right here. Something like that. I'm gonna set my gas can right in here. That's gonna be my fuel. After I get that done, I did remember to bring my little vacuum cleaner. I'm gonna vacuum all this crap up inside because it's pretty nasty and I don't want all that blowing up in my face. After that, we'll check fluids one more time and we'll at least drive around the farm, see how these brakes are gonna do. And we may head home with it. I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see. I do believe we're just about ready to take this thing down the road and see what it's gonna do. Got my fuel system already right there. This is a manual transmission vehicle, by the way. There's the clutch pedal right there. Saw it the other day. Put license plates over that hole, that shifter hole, because a couple of days ago when we run it for so long, man, it filled this entire cab up with fumes. I don't want that. Also vacuumed inside so that don't blow all up in my face. Got my windows washed so I can see where I'm going. I got my oil pressure gauge running through the window right here so I can keep an eye on it. Been adding a little bit of water to the radiator. It takes a little bit at a time. I'm gonna keep on till it gets full because I'm afraid this thing may run hot. Check the Earls, they're good. Check the brake fluid, they're good. I got my travel size battery cable in right there. Pumping up this back tire with this little old piece of junk compressor. It's taking forever. When I get that done, I gotta do the other back one. I think we're about as ready as we're gonna be. As soon as I get them tires pumped up, we'll at least ride around the farm, see how the brakes are gonna do. Well, I reckon it's time to at least take this thing around the farm. Let's see how the brakes do. That'll determine if we head on the road or not. Transmission is in and out. Oh crap, we ain't got a whole lot of brakes. No sir. Well, if I pump them, we got decent brakes. Y'all remind me to pump them if I need to stop. Uh-oh, she just quit on me. That ain't no... Still blowing out a lot of smoke. Good gracious alive. Woo-hoo. I can lock the brakes up if I pump them, so I reckon that's good enough. Go down the road just a little bit, see if that transmission's gonna shift. Second, but that's probably good enough to get us home. Let me turn around. I gotta lock that gate, and I think we'll head on to the house. Brake pads. Good gracious alive. We're gonna have to drive slow, fella, because it ain't a whole lot of brakes. Let me go in here and turn around and come back out and lock that gate. We'll head to the house. Keys out of my truck too. All right, here we go. A little bit smoky in here. Y'all remember the last time I drove a Ford home, I dang near lost the back wheel. I really hope that don't happen this time. Let me get out and lock this gate. Idled it down a little bit. It's idle a little too high. At the passenger side valve cover, I got a terrible leak. I think that's where most of the smoke's coming from. Anyway, let's see if we can make it home this old heat. I believe that brake is hanging up. Yeah, pretty sure it is. Probably going to fake that rotor before we get home. I feel like I need to put a red flag on the back of that camper shell. It sticks out so far. Oh, my goodness. Stuck in second gear. Whole thing rides pretty good. Definitely stuck in second gear. Motor's rattling. We got about 10 psi of oil pressure. Fingers crossed that we make it. I'll see y'all when we get there. Down to about maybe 5 psi of oil pressure. If I give it very many RPMs, it goes to sound like a diesel. So we'll probably burn the crank on this whole thing. But we ain't got too much further to go. I think we can make it. We're gonna try it anyway. Well, she's spewing water. We got a tire off the rim here. This back tire here, she could let go at any moment. Yes, sir. Pretty bad. I reckon I'm gonna have to call my handy dandy assistant. We're going to put this thing on the trailer. We almost made it though. We probably ain't maybe 3 miles from the house. Well, these people were nice enough to let me pull in their driveway and get it off the road. And we get a better shot of this back tire now. I heard something ticking on this side. Well, I guess that's what it was. It's just about ready to blow. I'll tell you what. Well, my handy dandy assistant, he come through once again. We got the old hunk of junk loaded up on the trailer. I reckon we'll take it to my house and roll it off.
Like somebody come over to his house for Halloween. I guess you call that making it home.
Well, we finally made it home, this old piece of junk. This ain't how I wanted to get it home. I wanted it to drive on its own power, but you don't always get what you want. Them wheels, well, that over yonder, it was really rusty. Yeah, I think actually may have had a rust hole in the wheel itself, leaking a little bit. Well, it finally got low enough that, well, it just come off the wheel. We got something dripping right here. But the only thing that might be is gasoline. So I need to check that out here in a minute. I don't see the gas can leaking though. Anyway, the whole thing, the motor, she's wore out. Oil pressure dropped down to, I don't know, 4 or 5 psi. It come back up to around 9, but that still ain't very good. Well, I just got a whiff of whatever that is dripping right there. It's sucker plucker. Yep, I'll have to take care of that. The old Ford Hoopty. I need a name for it. It's got to have something to do with a Brahma Bull, because that sticker on the side of it. Y'all give me some suggestions. You'll see it again. I got plans for it. I know sort of how I want it to look. We're gonna pull that motor out and rebuild it. Hopefully I didn't hurt the crank, you know, driving it without oil pressure. But if I did, well, we'll just put another in it. The brakes, they got some better the further I drove it, but they're still about 30 or 40%. They're not real good. Yeah, be looking for this. We'll see it again in probably the pretty near future. Anyway, appreciate y'all watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you don't mind, hit that like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. And until next time, go do something. Blur, blur.